Have you ever wondered exactly how many nuclear bombs it would take to wipe out all of humanity? Not just to destroy cities or erase a couple of countries from the map, but to fully and permanently eliminate civilization so that no one survives. This isn't science fiction or a movie plot. It's a cold scientific calculation, and it might be closer to reality than any of us would like to believe. While some argue about elections, media, spies, and global politics, something crucial is being overlooked. Behind all this noise hides one persistent threat that hasn't disappeared since the Cold War: nuclear weapons. Still armed, still with keys in human hands, and still powerful enough to turn cities into ash within minutes. We live in a world where dozens of countries possess arsenals capable not just of winning a war, but of ending the very concept of war forever. But here's the question: how realistic is it? Exactly how many detonations would it take for our planet to become uninhabitable? To grasp the scale, let's go back to the year 1945. That's when the United States dropped 2 atomic bombs on Japan, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. These devices were so primitive by today's standards that they would now be considered museum pieces. And yet, those 2 blasts killed more than 200,000 people. Today's nuclear warheads are hundreds of times more powerful. For example, a standard American bomb like the B-83 has a yield of 1.2 megatons. That's almost 100 times more powerful than what hit Hiroshima. Let's do a simple thought experiment. Imagine such a bomb hitting the center of a major metropolis, say Dallas, Texas. One detonation, and nearly 300,000 people die in the first few minutes. Over 500,000 more are injured. Buildings evaporate, asphalt melts, people vanish without a trace. All this from just one bomb. But that's only the beginning. If we want to understand how many bombs it would take to destroy humanity, we have to dig deeper. Now that we understand one bomb can erase an entire city, a logical question arises. How many such cities must be destroyed before civilization itself collapses? Let's take, for example, the Dallas-Fort Worth region. Around 7 million people live there. If each bomb kills on average 300,000 people, it would take approximately 24 nuclear detonations to wipe that metro area off the map. But even if that happened, the rest of the world would still go on existing. This kind of approach is targeted and localized. But what if the objective isn't just to kill, but to make life on the planet impossible? Directly eliminating every human being isn't the most efficient path. Earth holds 8 billion people. Even if each bomb kills 300,000 lives, it would take more than 1 million warheads to kill everyone. But the world possesses only about 12 to 15,000 nuclear warheads. And not all of them are powerful, modern, or even operational. So a different strategy would be required. The most effective way to wipe out humanity is not so much through physical destruction of bodies, but by dismantling systems: electricity, water, transportation, food production, communication, and healthcare, everything that makes modern life possible. Scientists have calculated that if just 100 nuclear warheads were detonated across various parts of the world at the same time, they would release 5 million tons of soot into the atmosphere. That would be enough to cloud the skies with thick smoke and block sunlight. Temperatures would drop. The ozone layer would be damaged. The planet would enter a nuclear winter. Such a winter could last 25 years. And this wouldn't require destroying every city. It would be enough to strike 100 strategic targets: metropolises, industrial hubs, ports, agricultural zones. This would collapse infrastructure, halt transportation and food distribution, and render medical help non-existent. Billions of people would die, not from the blasts, but from hunger, cold, and disease. And now, there's no need for 1 million warheads. Just 100 would be enough to send civilization into a downward spiral toward extinction. But what if destroying infrastructure isn't enough? What if someone wanted not only to paralyze the planet, but to finish off the survivors? Then would come the use of a weapon that doesn't kill in seconds, but over weeks: radiation. Let's assume that each target is hit with the same B-83 bomb. It's not the most powerful bomb in existence, but it's one of the most widely deployed. Its radioactive fallout can spread for hundreds of kilometers. Within a week after detonation, a lethal dose of radiation could extend as far as 144 kilometers from the epicenter. That's an area covering nearly 66,000 square kilometers. Now imagine this. The inhabited area of the planet is about 18.6 million square kilometers. Divide that by the area of impact from one bomb, and you get approximately 283 bombs. In other words, from a purely mathematical standpoint, to blanket the entire inhabited world with radioactive death, fewer than 300 warheads would be needed. That, by the way, isn't even the full arsenal of the United States, let alone that of other nuclear powers. In this scenario, survival becomes a matter of geography. Theoretically, only the most isolated corners of the Earth could survive. For example, scientific stations in Antarctica, remote parts of Siberia, islands with nothing but ice, rocks, and silence. But even if someone survives, can they survive for long? Without sunlight, there's no agriculture. Without clean water, there's no life. Without medicine, any infection or injury becomes fatal. People might survive for weeks, maybe months. But years, an entire winter lasting a quarter of a century, civilization would collapse. And it wouldn't matter if a few people were still alive somewhere. They wouldn't be able to rebuild the old world. Because the old world, with all its technologies, knowledge, and systems, would have burned on day one. Let's imagine someone did survive, in the Siberian taiga, in a bunker, or on a remote island in the ocean. They have food, water, knowledge, maybe even some technology. But then what? The sky is filled with ash. Temperatures are below normal. Ultraviolet radiation destroys whatever is left of the flora and fauna. There's no contact with anyone else, no communication. The planet has become hostile again, like it was millions of years ago. The survivors begin to survive in a new way: hunting, foraging routes, makeshift shelters, primitive water filters. Everything we call civilization remains somewhere out there, under the rubble of megacities, beneath radioactive clouds, locked away in digital archives no one will ever access. Generations later, the descendants of the survivors won't even know what really happened. They'll tell each other stories of fire gods who once came from the sky, of the Great Fall, of forbidden knowledge. And maybe, hundreds of years later, they'll rediscover electricity, invent the wheel, or the atom. The end-of-the-world scenario doesn't require a million missiles. It doesn't require an alien invasion. All it takes is 100 people making the wrong decision. Or just one order, one button, and that's it. If you've watched this far, know this. This video isn't about panic. It's about the reality we've built ourselves. The weapon capable of destroying all of us already exists. And it's not sitting in a museum. It's on active duty. What saves us is not progress. What saves us is only fear. So, next time you hear the phrase nuclear deterrent, remember, it doesn't deter us from the enemy. It deters us from ourselves. The world hasn't ended yet, only because we've been lucky. But luck is a bad strategy. If you're interested in understanding the dark side of humanity, subscribe. This channel isn't about clickbait, just facts, history, and honest storytelling. No sugarcoating. Thanks for watching. It only gets deeper from here.